Oh, for starters, episode 30.
Getting up there.
I mean, no, I will say, Greg has said it many times. The hardest part is continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say, I think we've done pretty good. Consistency wise, we've definitely improved. Obviously we take our breaks, but we got lives. We ain't like your favorite podcast because they're rich right now. We're still trying to build up
That right. Yeah.
to that.
But I say, I
so
say,
uh,
niggas is living comfortable right now, but we ain't rich.
yeah. Honestly, what are your takeaways so far? This with the pod.
It's been fun. I enjoy it. Like it's cool.
Mm,
I mean, to me, it doesn't really feel like anything different because I
yeah,
mean, we talk like this all the time. So I mean, it's
yeah. Just the difference is we're on camera now.
right. Facts. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I would say we're definitely doing good. I mean, obviously, there's always room for improvement, which I think obviously we're getting there. But it's just that just comes with time.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
really all it is. Now it would show me we're doing something right. I told you about a situation somebody mad about so
Oh
we talked
God,
about.
man, listen. I'm like, come on, man.
Ah,
Like I said, it's it the fact that that person picked that out like that. I'm just kind of like you said, playing detective. But it's just like, well, hey man,
uh,
if the shoe fits, put that motherfucker on.
hey, look, man. You know why OJ got off? Because the gloves didn't fit.
Facts.
Look, man, and it's like I gotta say this. Look to the listeners, you're not going to like everything we talk about. It's something we accept. You had to accept it. And we're fine with that. If you don't like what we talk about, nobody's holding a gun to your head and forcing you to listen. So if you hear something you don't like, turn it off. Hey, I just did that with one of Farrakhan's podcasts. No, it wasn't even anything he said. Like we talked about it. I didn't tell him like I turned it off, but I told him like,
Oh
hey,
shit.
I didn't appreciate some your boy said, so I just stopped listening. Yeah, like I'm like, bro,
Nah,
and
man.
it's like
Farrakhan
no,
for
like it
real.
wasn't even anything like serious, but it was like, bro, like I'm just nah, bro, like your ideology just ain't sitting right with me, so I'm not gonna listen to this anymore. But it's like, hey, if I can do it, anybody else can do
Honestly, even when I don't agree with some of these people's ideology, like not like Farrakhan and his stuff, but I
it.
had
Just
to I
anybody in
had to
general.
had to tune in to that one that you was talking about because I want to hear what it is now. But
Yeah,
I'm like, if I don't agree with it, sometimes I listen to it anyway because that
yeah.
shit's funny.
Yeah,
It's
oh
like,
yeah,
what the fuck
and
are they
I
talking about?
listened for like a couple more minutes, but it's like it was more so I explained to him like, bro, like your boy's point needs to be a little more like explained thoroughly because he was not. I'll put it to you this way. It was a 50-50. Like he was not wrong, but he wasn't right either. And that's
Mm.
all I explained to Tim. Like,
But did Tim get mad
no,
about it? Like,
no, because it was a pretty like understood like where I was coming from, and I told him like I understand where your boy is coming from. Like I'm not knocking what he said. It's just I don't personally agree with it, and
right?
I think to some degree it's ignorant. But again, it's his opinion. He is more than allowed to have his own opinion, just like I am.
I mean,
So it's
I got
like,
a pretty twisted sense of humor, so when they start talking that ignorant shit, I think it's funny sometimes. I'm just like, what is
so
he like? What
it's
is he
like
talking
I
about?
kind of just so with this whole situation, it's like, what are you mad about? Because the the likelihood anybody was going to find that episode, which I'm not even going to say which episode it is, you go find it was very slim already.
I mean, I think it's funny. It's just like, so, you know, you want to make an ass out of yourself? That's great. I'm just going to
Yeah,
sit here and laugh
because it's like,
because no one knows that anyone's even talking about you. So the
exactly.
fact that
And
you want to
here's the
act
funny
like
part.
this, it's like, okay.
Here's where they told on themselves. They're like, I didn't give you my consent. I'm like, I don't need your consent.
I'm just like, as
Even
long
if
as,
I name drop you, I don't need it.
I'm just like, I don't need, it's like,
And I didn't name drop you just out of me not being a terrible person because I
like,
could have did
yeah, you
that.
could have name dropped them for sure.
Yeah, but
Could have.
I'm not that type of dude. It's just we were talking about a topic. I just happen to have a recent story regarding that topic.
Hey,
So don't get mad at me because your inner guilt kicked in, and that's where I will leave that off. Now,
yeah.
anyways, episode 30, here we are. I do want to ask you this. Give me one thing that you think we can improve on.
I would say topic wise, we do pretty well because we keep it, you know, we keep it kind of diverse. We talk
Yeah.
about a bunch of different stuff. I'll give you some feedback from
Okay.
some of the homies.
Okay.
They listen in and stuff, and a lot of them say,
Hey, I appreciate y'all too.
yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate y'all. They give me some good feedback. They you know, especially Shad. You know, shout to my man Shad. He said that the podcast is good, and he said that the live streams were cool, but he was just like they need to be a little bit longer.
That's fair. That's fair. So live stream, I definitely got you on just because the capabilities, especially with the equipment we're working with, it's not hard to do longer ones. Here's the problem with the pod. I try to keep it at most 2 hours because it gets kind of annoying having to make sure the camera's always filming because sadly I don't have one of them cameras that continuously films. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'll say that right now. And that's kind of what leads me to, what I want to improve on, just making sure I'm always improving with the equipment.
That and the fact that's like you can't go but so long because people start to their attention span
Yeah, and
starts to
also
kind of
it's kind
dwindle.
of
You know,
hard to keep talking about one topic for like 20, 30 minutes. Like it gets tough after a while because it's like I'm running out of stuff to say.
it depends on what
Yeah,
it
it
is.
does matter on what you're talking about, but sometimes we'll go on our rants, and it's like I always tell you, like I hate when we do that sometimes because it's like I can tell like we're just dragging it on, and thinking about it from a listener's perspective, like I don't want to just hear you just rant and ramble on. Like, all right, just move on if you're done.
Well, sometimes it's not really a rant though. Sometimes it's like when we keep talking about something, it's like there's more points being
Yeah,
made. You know,
that's fair. That's fair.
so it's like it's not always a rant, but sometimes it
Yeah.
can be. Yeah, it depends.
I would honestly say my number one thing that I do want to improve on, it's really just getting more guests on, which
Yeah,
we'll
that too.
probably do
That
in the
too. Yeah,
future.
I think we should start having people on. That
Yeah,
yeah.
so definitely gonna work on that. Yeah, but I mean, overall though, hey, I appreciate anybody that listens to us, man. I appreciate anybody that gives feedback because it definitely does help.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether you think it does or not, trust me, we do listen to the feedback
Oh yeah, for
and we
sure.
try to accommodate to it. So definitely keep it coming.
I mean, yeah, if y'all got something that y'all want us to talk about,
Yeah.
hey, drop it off for us,
Oh
man.
yeah, yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Now I will not lie. Try to keep it PG-13.
See that? Yeah, I don't care. Like
I
hey, I'll talk about whatever, but
that's
it's
fair. That's fair. But it's like I always say. There's certain things, just me personally, I'm not gonna feel comfortable talking about, and I'll keep it a buck with you there.
oh for sure. I
But
mean,
it's like you send us some stuff. Trust me, we gonna look into it. Like,
right.
yeah, So obviously, NBA off season just keeps picking up and picking up.
Yeah.
So I just saw today the Suns officially said they will not meet with Kyrie, which I really didn't understand why they even would, because I'm like
They can't afford him
that, and also I'm
at
like,
this point in the
so
game.
you're gonna get 4 ball dominant players now, huh?
Well, yeah, that's true. I
It's
mean, I
like, come on, bro. Like
Kyrie can play the point though.
he can.
I mean, you saw what he did in Boston, so I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
he can facilitate.
But
But
again, 4 ball dominant players.
well, you got to think him and Kyrie know how to play together, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
You know, they know how to work together in any system. Really, I mean, I think the two of them, I think they should have actually went for Kyrie instead of Bradley Beal.
I can agree with
I
you
think
there.
that would have made more sense.
I can agree with you there.
It's like neither one of them motherfuckers play defense. So you ain't
Exactly.
got to worry about that.
Yeah.
At least Kyrie tries. I give that to him. He'll try.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw him in Brooklyn when they
Mhm.
were the season that they both got traded. Like Kyrie was D'ing up, like he was playing D. So I'm like, okay, he can play if he wants to, but Bradley Beal, I don't have. Okay, he can play defense if he
Mhm.
wants to. He
But
has all of the physical attributes. He just doesn't do it. But you
yeah.
got to think though, when he was on the Wizards, he was the offense.
Yeah.
So you can't be the whole ass offense and play defense
Yeah.
too.
You're
Like
gonna
you
tire
yeah,
out.
you can't do that, especially because he
Yeah.
was playing what at least 30 minutes a game, at least probably more than that.
Mhm.
So it's like, come on, man, like you can't expect him to do everything on both ends and play that many minutes. You know, you gotta have a checks and balances with that. Like if he's gonna be scoring all of the points, then somebody got to pick up the defense, and they
Mhm.
didn't have that. But shit, I mean, looking at the damn Phoenix roster, they ain't got it there either.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Now, here's the big one.
they gonna try to.
James Harden.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty sure you saw the report. He opted in, and they're gonna basically do a sign and trade with his option.
Oh, so he is gonna be traded.
Yeah, the Knicks and the Clippers are apparently the front runners.
Yeah, I heard about the Clippers. I didn't. The Knicks, I don't think so. But
Yeah,
the
now
Clippers, that's
everything's
believable.
more so pointing to the Clippers now from what I was reading
Well,
this
yeah, he
morning.
wants to go home,
Yeah, but here's the problem.
and they're a contending
Yeah,
team. You know.
here's the problem. Just coming from a Clipper fan, I'm not fully opposed to it, but I will be depending on what we have to give up because apparently the names that have been discussed about being available for trade: Terrence Mann,
Marcus Morris.
yep, Marcus Morris, Bones Highland, Visa Zubats, I just found out this morning, and Norman Powell. Now, here's my problem. Norman Powell should be an automatic no. Zubats, I'm not fully against, but at the same time,
Y'all need that.
exactly.
I mean,
but it also we're trying to sign Mason Plumlee back, so if we get him back, I won't be too upset about it. Now, if we don't, that's when I'll be upset about it.
yeah, that's true.
Morris Senior, oh yeah, he can go. Honestly, I'll give him for like a bottle of water at this point. Now the two, Terrence Mann and Bones Highland, that's where I have a hard time because I'm like,
I would give up Bones before Terrence.
I want to give up Terrence, but then my mind is telling me, nah, Bones should probably be the one.
Terrence seems to have more upside than Bones, but
see,
then again, I mean, seeing Bones play for the Clippers, like he looked a lot better with them than he did
the Nuggets,
with the Denver Nuggets.
but
Yeah, so.
also it all matters on like,
But he got more opportunity in LA.
exactly. So it's kind of like
he still don't. He ain't. I mean, he's good on offense. Defense, he's a little shaky.
Yeah,
but
that comes with time. I mean, heck, Paul George has talked about it on his pod. Like when he was in his younger days, like AAU, like he was trash at defense, and now look at him.
Yeah, but he's played both sides well in the NBA. Though.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like it just takes time.
No, even like in his early years in the league, he played good
exactly.
defense.
Yeah.
you know, Bones been in the league, so
Oh yeah.
he still ain't.
Plus,
You know,
also you got arguably two of the best defensive wings in the game today. Like,
I mean, Bones. I mean, he could play D. He's got, he's long, athletic,
yeah, I think he needs to
pause.
bulk up a little
Yeah,
bit.
he
Yeah.
need to put some size on him.
Terrence, man, my main problem has always been with him, like just being scared to shoot. And I'm like, bro, like I can live with you missing as long as like you took a good look.
He do shoot.
Yeah, like he's gotten better now at like not being scared to shoot, but like earlier years, like
No, I mean, well, at least he did start shooting. He
exactly.
didn't pull a Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah, oh,
Ben Simmons is, oh my god.
we're not even talking about him.
Oh,
Yeah, man, it's
he's
like
done.
they trying to hype him up so much. I'm like, I'll believe when I see it.
Right. I'm
I'll
like,
leave it at
I don't,
that.
I'm not banking on him coming back
Yeah,
shooting the ball.
yeah.
I
So
mean, if he does, cool, but I don't see it happening. He's gonna, if he does come back and he's good again, he'll probably be just the same player he was in Philly when he was good,
like I said, I got no words.
But honestly, if on that Brooklyn team, he doesn't need to be a shooter.
Exactly.
So
It's kind of
it's
like with
fine.
Westbrook and us. Like that's where the Lakers went wrong. They were expecting him to be able to shoot the ball, and it's
But
like
that's the funny part about it. Russell Westbrook ain't never been a shooter.
exactly. But this is where I say Lakers fans have this
If
delusion.
you look at,
As soon as you put on a Lakers uniform, you are an all-star caliber player that can do everything.
well, Russell Westbrook's always been all-star caliber,
I
but
agree,
Russell
but he
Westbrook,
can't do everything.
Russell Westbrook, if you look at Russell Westbrook's stats,
He's never been
shooting
good at
wise,
shooting,
from
outside
his
scoring.
his MV, even in his MVP season,
Yeah, he
he
wasn't
his
good.
shooting was not great. So I mean, for him to go to LA, his shooting statistics were very comparable.
Yeah,
And everyone's like, "Oh, Russell Westbrook is garbage." It's like he's the same player. It's just
exactly.
now he doesn't have the ball in his hands, so
Uh,
it's like he can't control everything.
I say this all the time when I hear that from people. I tell them you probably just started watching basketball like 2 years ago, if you say Russell Westbrook's a trash player.
Russell Westbrook, they just put him in a team where he was a bad fit. I mean,
Exactly.
Russell Westbrook and LeBron James
Or
are very similar in how
yes.
they play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be the one with the ball in their hands
Mm-hmm.
to be able to play the way they play.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put Russell Westbrook on a team with LeBron and have him on the floor with LeBron, he's like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do now? Like he doesn't play off ball well at all. So you saw when they put Russell Westbrook on the bench, he actually started to play better because he wasn't on the floor with LeBron. He was the one running the show on the second unit, and he was doing better.
Yep.
And you put him in LA, they let him bring the ball up, they let
Yep.
him make the decisions, and he played really well.
Amen.
So it's like he has to be the guy with the ball in his hands
Yeah.
in order, because he has to be able to make the decisions that he wants to make, which are questionable at times. But if he's slashing or looking to pass, he usually makes good reads.
Oh yeah.
So just don't let him shoot it.
Exactly.
But sometimes he will shoot it and
But
he'll make it.
here's what's crazy. I remember his first game when he was with the Clippers and we played against the Lakers. He torched them from three.
Yeah, I'm like,
and I was
sometimes he will shoot
because
well.
even Anthony Davis, like the plan was to make him shoot, and he ended up making most of them.
Right.
Like, see,
I was like, he'll because they were sagging off him,
mm-hmm.
like leaving him open.
And I've
It's just
said
kind of
too,
like, I mean, he's still in the NBA now.
oh yeah,
I mean, he can make open shots.
I say all the time, like how back in the day when people would leave Draymond open, I've always said that's stupid because you never know if it's gonna go in or not.
Yeah, Draymond streaky too.
Yeah, but it's like
Yeah.
I would much rather just get a hand in your face versus just he'll self check himself and then next thing you know you jack it up and it goes in.
Right.
Like,
I was like, you give him the opportunity to
exactly.
shoot
So I'm
it,
like,
you
that's
make it.
dumb, bro. Like, yeah, I don't know. So this was the key topic for this week I wanted to discuss with you. growing up in a minority household, because it's something that I feel a lot of people that obviously aren't minorities just won't understand, and it kind of takes us to, us being adults now, like why we do things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And, with being mixed with two minorities, Filipino and Puerto Rican.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, though, I'd honestly say you were raised a little bit more black in some sense. So it's like, what were probably some key things that, like, being raised as a child in a minority household, you kind of adopted in your adult years?
Well, I mean, it was more like my dad used to always stress about being aware of your surroundings,
Oh, amen.
always.
Yeah.
Because I grew up, in Virginia in the '90s, and it was a lot of racist shit in Virginia. Virginia's, there was a town. I grew up in the Virginia Beach area, Hampton
Hmm.
Roads, and there was a town there called Pocosin, and Pocosin was one of them, you ain't white and you there after dark, it's a problem type places, you know what I'm saying? Like it was bad over there. I don't know if you've ever seen the Klan, the uniforms that they wear.
Oh yeah.
The
I mean,
one the one
documentary.
Yeah, the ones that aren't the
The
ghost.
hoods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they wear, it looks like a military uniform. It's like all black. They got the little swastika joint on, you know what I'm saying? And you would see people walking around in that at like your local Walmart. Like it was normal to see shit like that. And my pop was like, "Hey, look, like you need to be aware of your surroundings. You go around, it's like you gonna see certain people that ain't gonna like you just because of the way you look, and you need to be ready for what's gonna happen. As like they may or may not try to beat you up or something like that, and you need to be ready for it. So I mean, my dad always preached that you need to be careful who you around, and just make sure no matter where you at that you know what's going on. So that was always a big thing for him.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, even in school, yeah, these white teachers, and he's hey, these teachers, they may not they may not like you because you're you, and they may make it harder for you in certain things. And he was just like, you just got to be, you got to be ready for it. Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with that too. I mean, I've had racist teachers.
Yeah.
It was interesting, because as a kid, you don't,
You don't fully
right, you
understand
don't
it.
get it quite yet.
Yeah.
I think once I was a little older, probably like maybe eighth grade or so, I started to kind of understand a little bit more. Like seventh, maybe seventh grade, but you start seeing it with people that you're close.
Yeah.
Like I had a lot of white friends growing up early, like elementary school, because we moved to Virginia when I was in like third grade. So early on, through third through fifth, most of my friends were white because they were just kids from the neighborhood. And my dad wanted to move into like a quiet neighborhood, so we
Right.
moved into this neighborhood. It's like mostly retired, like older white people, and some of them were. I think my parents were probably, out of my school friends and the friends in my neighborhood, little kids in the neighborhood, my parents were probably like the youngest parents.
Mm.
And they it was cool, but you go to your little friends' houses, and it's like their parents kind of look at you with that side eye, like, what is this nigga doing type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really start to put it together until I was like a little older. But I'm like, man, it's just like, even as a young kid, it was like,
Like
parents
you
looking
knew
at you kind of,
something was
yeah, they
wrong.
looking at you kind
Like,
of funny. It's like I had this one friend in the neighborhood. He had asked his parents, like we were outside playing in the yard or whatever. We're like playing, I think we were playing like baseball or some shit, because he had like a really big backyard. So it was
mm.
like all of the neighborhood kids used to go to his house. That we would play football, baseball. He had a basketball hoop. You know, we'd be in there just wilding out in his yard, you know, because it was big.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were out there chilling and he asked his dad if because they wanted him to come in for dinner. And he asked his dad if I could eat with them. And, you know, his dad was like, oh, I don't know. Then I never forget this. He was just like, well, it's like I don't know because we're not having anything crazy. You know, it was a we're having like like bald just baked chicken. It's like it's not fried or anything, and I'm just like,
Like,
at first I didn't get it, but then as I remembered as I got older, and I'm like this motherfucker tried to imply that oh well he can't eat with us because it's not fried chicken, and I'm just like wow, are you serious
you
right now?
know,
Like
the fried chicken one has always been so interesting to me. Because I'm like, when you get people cracking jokes about black people liking fried chicken, I'm like, bro, who doesn't like fried chicken? To be fair, like, if you don't, you're kind of weird. Like,
I mean, that is it was things like that, and
oh
then
yeah,
you get to middle school, you start, you got your little girlfriends and shit. Like the white girls used to chase after me, so I used to mess with a lot of white chicks, and they want you to come to the house. You come over to their house, and you got daddy looking at you all funny, like yeah, okay, I don't know about this. It was you had a lot of that. There's a lot of that. So I mean, but I was kind of prepared for it though. Like my dad warned me that it would happen like that. You go in these little girls' houses, like you need to watch their parents because it's like they may look at you a certain kind of way. And some of them would ask questions. Where do you live? What do your parents do? They want to know. You know, they want to know like what's going on with you.
yeah.
So I mean, when they found out, oh, you live over here, okay, okay.
It was kind of interesting for me growing up because, like, I will say, growing up black, you kind of get taught about racism like pretty quickly, whether it's from your parents or just from experiences. And with my mom being what's y'all's term, high yellow, it's
Yeah.
that is such a weird term. Like it was interesting, like seeing what she would have to go through at times because like I always tell people, like, one thing I don't like black people like suffer from is colorism. Let alone we suffer from it from our own people.
Colorism's big everywhere except for America.
Crazy too. Like,
Like any other foreign countries, like
oh yeah,
they all it's colorism is like big
oh yeah,
everywhere.
oh yeah. Like when people ask me how it was in Japan, it's like, yeah, I mean, you experience colorism, but it's like they're not used to seeing somebody that looks like visibly different.
Right.
So it's like I can't necessarily fault you for it. I mean, when you're not used to seeing something, of course it's going to be awkward when you see it. But at the end of the day, it's like I tell everyone, still probably one of the best experiences I ever had was being in Japan because it was the first time I was ever looked at as just an American, not just as a black person.
And it's like that everywhere outside of the
Yeah.
country too.
So it kind of
Yeah.
tripped me out because I'm like, oh, so this is what this is like. I never thought I would experience it.
Now we both know that Japanese people are like real, you know, real culture strict,
Yeah.
but they typically don't like to leave Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think has the biggest Japanese population outside of Japan?
I'd say West Coast.
Brazil.
I've heard that.
Brazil. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Brazil has the largest Japanese population outside of Japan.
Okay.
Yep.
It makes sense too, though, because the dude I met out there when I went to go look at my car, he was half Brazilian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Japanese. Yeah.
They got Yakuza in Brazil.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's crazy. Like it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot of Japanese people
And
in Brazil.
going back to being raised in a minority household, it was interesting because I want to say I'm one of the few, if not the only, out of the younger generation to go like overseas out of the country.
Right.
So it was it was pretty crazy for everyone to hear like I was going out there and all that. And obviously, uh, there's a lot of things you're just not taught. In some black households, like like getting your passport, understanding like there are certain things you can't do in other countries.
Sure.
Yeah, so that was crazy. Just trying to explain that to some of my family members. But the big thing I will say that has halted just the black community, us not learning about how important credit was earlier.
Well, see, I didn't have that issue because my mom was like an accountant.
Yeah.
So my mom kind of, as a teenager, my mom kind of schooled me to the game a little
Yeah.
bit when it comes
Well,
to like,
luckily my mom did too.
yeah.
It just took me a lot longer to grasp. So, yeah. But I just say like, imagine if all of us would have learned it much earlier, like how much further ahead like we all would be.
Yeah, that's like honestly, if I'm being real with it, like most of the black people, like black people started to really come like more, I would say, I won't say influence, but kind of an influence. Like I started hanging out around a lot more black people when I once I hit middle school.
Mm.
Cause like my elementary school, I had some like a couple of black friends in
But
elementary
it
school,
was
but not a
predominantly
lot.
white.
Yeah, mostly white.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to middle school. It's a bigger school. It's a bigger school zone. So there's like more kids from, more places come there. So I had a lot more like black friends in middle school and in high school than I did in elementary school. And, hanging out with them, the one thing that like early on, like the black people, they kind of, I would say this, black people kind of took me in.
Yeah.
It's like I never had no beef with like white people or nothing like that, but it's like the black people would always be, oh yeah, you one of us, like,
Oh yeah.
because it was always that like that us against them mentality. So it was like they would always kind of like, oh nah, you one of
Yeah.
us, and
That's
it's
one thing I will say. Like, despite what people think, I probably say the black community is one of the most welcoming communities.
it is, but they will give you shit.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like I
Of
remember early
course.
on, man, the black folks used to give me hella shit because I rode BMX bikes. As you can see, I still got one over
Yeah.
there. I used to rollerblade,
What they call you, the
skateboard.
X Games nigga.
Yeah, X Games nigga. Yeah, that was my nickname. They was, oh, you the X Games nigga. It's like you do all that white shit. I'm just like, what do you
I've
mean?
never understood
I
that
was like, what do you
either.
mean? You don't ride a bike, motherfucker? Like you got a bike? Yeah, but I don't be doing all of that tricks and jumping and shit you be doing. Like that's white shit. I'm just like, all right. So I mean, they used to fuck with me about it, but I mean, it was never anything like we gonna exclude you because you do this. They used to just fuck with me about it.
yeah.
Oh, you do white shit. You cool and everything, but you be on that white shit. I'm like, all right, if you say so. I mean,
Yeah. Now that is like a whole thing I've never understood. Like, there was a point where, you know, I had black folks trying to tell me, like, me being so heavy into JDM cars, they're like, oh, that's that white person stuff. Like, you need to be looking at these old schools. Like,
oh, I deal with that now.
why?
Shout out to my boy Big Les. Yeah, Les.
Oh, that's the one you told me about.
Yeah, Les out here. Yeah, Les. He. As soon as like we got like this group. Shout out to all my guys in the Niggas Unite chat. Yeah, y'all. Hey, that's what they named it, bro. Like
Oh my god.
it's dude. It's a fun chat, man. It's like it's all of those guys are super cool. I fuck with all of them heavy, man. That's my guys, man. But Les, he absolutely hates when we start talking about import shit because he doesn't know anything about imports. Like Les is I think Les is like in his mid 40s, and he doesn't. He's all diehard, American V8s. Like that's all he fuck
Mm,
with. So he's from Texas. He's from Houston, and he loves like old school. That's the culture in Houston.
yeah.
Old schools. He likes that type of stuff. So we got this one cat in the group, Bruce. A shout to my man Bruce. He hooked it up for me, him and Will, on my paint correction. Yeah, I fuck with y'all. They Bruce is, a lot like me. Me and him are the same age, mixed, military, veteran. We've been, all over the place. And Bruce is also a JDM fanatic like me. So me and him will start going back and forth about JDM shit, and Lessa just interject and be like, what the fuck are y'all even talking about? Like, what's all this numbers and engine code and all that? What the fuck is all of this? Like,
Gets all
and,
irritated.
and he's like, and then he's just like, he said his biggest pet peeve is people talking import shit, but then they roll up with an import with an LS swap in it. And he was just like, that drives me insane. It's
You
just like,
know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of with him on it. It bugs me to some degree, but at the same time, I'm like, man,
because he said that to me, talking about, so, oh, well, if you make an import fast with the motor that's supposed to be in it, then you got my respect. I'm like, I ain't never had a LS swap, nothing. I'm like, I wanted a LS powered vehicle. I went and bought a GTO.
yeah,
I'm like, I'm not about to swap a LS into an import. I mean, granted, it makes a lot of sense in some cases,
oh yeah.
but I'm
Well,
like,
it's
yeah,
like I always tell you, like when I see LS swapped RX-7s, I lose my mind. I'm
I
like,
love it.
nah, I
I
can't
love
do
it.
that. It's blasphemy.
The FD is basically, it's basically a Z06 Corvette in import form. The way it's designed, it's basically a two-seater sleek design. I mean, if you look at an FD and you look at a C5, it looks very similar.
Mm,
The C5 is bigger, obviously, but if you look at them side by side, and you can see similarities in the design. Now, granted, the FD came out way earlier than the C5,
mm,
but it's similar in design. Not
mm.
to mention, if you look at the pros and cons, a LS versus a rotary, the LS beats it out in almost everything. It's more reliable. It makes power just as easy, if not easier. It's lighter, so you don't lose that weight distribution. Everything works. It's like it fits the car perfect. That's probably the only import that I would say a LS fits in, and it's like it should be that way. LS 240s, I'm kind of like, nah, you got RBs, you got SRs, you could do anything else. But a FD, what else do you really have? Like, Mazda don't have no other engines besides that.
That's fair.
So the LS in the RX-7, they fit better than any other import to me.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, I guess. Uh, I will say this.
And no, if you like imports out there, that's not white shit. It's not. There's plenty of us that like imports. We are out here. It's not white.
Yeah, I don't really get it. I'm trying to think. What are some other things that you know?
Clothes.
Oh yeah,
Because
clothes.
I was like all high skater boy in like what, fifth grade, sixth grade, like even in like third, fourth grade, I'm wearing Airwalks, Vans. I still wore Jordans and Nikes and stuff like that, but I had Airwalks in here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy enough, I did not wear Jordans in high school.
No,
I did not.
jeez, I started wearing
No,
Jordans in
because it's
elementary
like I
school.
was kind of one of them people that are like, man, I don't hoop, so I can't wear Jordans.
Well, I did.
But I still like was involved in skate culture heavy. So that's all I was wearing was skateboarding shoes.
Oh, I wore skateboard shoes, basketball shoes, trainers. I wore everything.
Yeah, like I started moving more into runners like my senior year.
I was even from an early age, elementary school age. I've always been I wear what I like kind of guy.
Exactly.
So it's like if it was a skate shoe and I liked it, I would get it. If it was a trainer, I wanted it. If it was basketball, I wanted it. It didn't matter. I wore LA gear with the lights in them because I thought it was dope. I wanted it. Like it didn't matter. It was like if I
Yeah.
liked the shoe, I would get it.
Yeah.
Always like that.
Yeah, that's a closer one. You know, one my mom really wanted us to stress
Oh, before you get to that,
was a
Jinkos.
oh
Those
god.
those are making a comeback
They
now.
are too.
But
That's just funny.
when I was in 6th grade, Jinkos was the rave with the white kids and me, obviously, because I was wearing them. I had several pairs of Jinkos. I wore Jinkos 6th grade, 7th grade. I think, yeah, 6th and 7th grade. I was like Jinko heavy. I mean, I wore regular jeans too, but I had a lot of Jinkos. Like I used to wear those heavy.
Yeah, let's have the Jinko.
Yeah, Jinkos was
Hey,
fire
I
back
don't knock
then,
it,
bro.
bro. I don't. Oh, one topic within the same topic, my mom really wanted me to stress was, how, you know, not all minority parents raise their kids the same.
They don't.
Yeah, oh yeah,
They
but
don't.
she was very heavy on you cannot raise your kids thinking that they are always the victim. And I've noticed you see a lot more of that
You
with
see a lot
kids.
more of that now
Yeah, now.
than when I was coming
Oh
up for
yeah,
sure. Like,
like it's like you. And I was asking her what she meant by that, and I'm not going into too much detail because she started talking
oh.
trash. But like she was saying, like you have to, like she told me, you have to keep in mind you were a minority. You're a black man in America.
Right.
Almost everybody will be quick to tell you you're doing something wrong. So it is my job, or it was her job, to teach me that you are not always going to be right in every situation. Even if you know you were right, the world will still try to tell you you're wrong.
Sure.
So you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, you just gotta have that mentality. Like I know right from wrong, and I know
Exactly.
what it is and what it ain't. And
Exactly.
my parents was the same way. They taught me that too. It's just
Hmm.
like just make sure that you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
It's like even if they say that it's wrong, if you know in your mind and your heart that you're doing the right thing, then
Hmm.
just stick with that.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, yeah, there's always gonna be detractors for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. So when she told me that, I'm like, I get what you're saying.
I mean, it was a little different for me coming up too because of me being me. I was, especially in that time in Virginia. It's like I was the different kid
Hmm.
because it was like most whites, like the racist crowd.
Yeah.
It was you're either us or you're them.
Yeah.
Like there was no in between. But for my generation coming up, the white kids were kind of like, well, my parents always say, black people, this, that, this, and this, but you don't look like them. You know what I'm saying? It was like I was different. They're just like, well, you're
Yeah.
not one of them, but you're not one of us. But you know, you're just kind of you're just the different kid. So it was like the white people, the white kids anyway, growing up didn't really have an issue with me because they didn't know how to take me.
Exactly.
They're just like, well, we don't, you're not black, but you're not one of us either. So I guess that means you're okay.
It's so messed up
Yeah.
to think
But
about.
yeah,
Like,
that's
dang.
how it was,
Oh yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
No, it's just kind of it is what it
And
is.
I mean the black kids, it was the same thing.
Oh
The
yeah.
black kids is like, you ain't one of them, but and you ain't black, but you not one of them, so you one of us. You got color on you, so you one of us. Like they just kind of took me in. They're
Oh, it's
just like
just
we
so crazy to think about too. Obviously, with me growing up out here, because like Arizona, like, yeah, there is some like pretty blatant racism, but it's like I'd say growing up, I never really had to experience it more than like maybe 5%.
Honestly, I would say racism here it's different. Cause when I came here, I was like, dude, this place is segregated as fuck. It's like you got Mexicans on the west side, the south side is Mexican and black predominantly, but there's like every black person that I met lived in Levine, which is on the south side. Then you got North Phoenix, which is kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, pretty
And
diverse.
then you got
Scottsdale,
Scottsdale's
predominantly
white,
white. Yeah.
Tempe mostly white.
Gilbert is actually the interesting one because it's a combination of white and black.
Yeah, there's a lot of black people in Gilbert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gilbert's got a good
Central
decent
Phoenix
mix.
Hispanic.
Central?
I'd say
Yeah.
central to like roughly like just starting to be west side is
West side's mostly Hispanic.
I'd actually disagree.
I think
It all
it
matters
is.
on how far you start going out.
From the 17 to the 101 is predominantly
Oh
Mexican.
yeah, that. Now
we
far
live
west,
on the other side of the 101.
yeah, far
so it's like
west
where we
is
live,
pretty
it's
diverse.
it's like a little bit of everything.
But like central to the 101,
like inside that loop,
yeah,
it's like mostly Hispanic on the west side for sure.
Yep.
So
yeah,
it's
I'd agree.
it's pretty. It was like it's segregated. I'm just like, damn, you got like this group here, that group over there. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? But and the Mexicans, like the traditional Mexicans, they seem to be like the older crowd. They seem to be the funnier ones out of everybody. Cause it's like they don't really fuck with you if you're not Mexican. Like you gotta be one of them. Or they don't mess with you like that. You know, it's like they the traditional. They don't want their daughters messing with nobody that ain't Mexican. They don't want nobody in their house that ain't Mexican. Like they real funny
you
about
know,
that.
a crazy thing about that too. So one of my good friends, his wife is a Hispanic, and I was asking her about it, like, you know, why is it like that? That most like traditional Hispanic parents don't like their, you know, daughters dating outside.
Right, they stick to their own.
And it's like, you know, she tells me like I honestly don't get it either because just from
now that's not to the Mexicans out there. It's not all of y'all.
Oh yeah, we're not.
But
saying
there is like a good bit of them that are like that.
And you know, she told me like it's funny too that it's like that because like from you know past like things she's seen, whether it was like you know family or friends, like it was typically the men that they like the daughters would get married to, they were very abusive and such.
But that happens even with their own.
Exactly. And that's what she was talking about, like within their own. Like, and she said, I don't get how like that's deemed as okay within, you know, that culture. But then the second
if it's somebody else,
yeah, but then
right.
the second like their daughter brings home a black dude, all hell breaks loose.
Now, honestly, like you know, well, you know my girl. Shout out to my babe Blanca. You know, that's her nickname because you would know if you've seen it.
I was about to say, hang on, you better chill, bro, because this you gonna come after me. Like,
nah,
like, why did you let him say that? I'm like, I
she
can't control what he does.
I mean, she like I didn't think that her parents really like fucked with me at first. I don't think they really did, honestly, because I wasn't Mexican. Now, when they got to know me, now her parents are cool with me. But it was like at first they were kind of like, oh, I don't know, but as like it's. I mean, because I don't think she had ever dated anyone that wasn't Mexican before me, so it was just kind of like, okay, what's going on here? You know, what is this?
You know, even my mom was like, you know, you better be careful since you like a lot of these Hispanic girls. You know, their dads might not like it. I'm like, hey, small price to pay for salvation. Yeah. Oh no, man. Yeah, like it's crazy too to think you have to put that into consideration. Like, dang, her parents might not even like me. Like,
Oh, I was expecting it. I expected it right away. I'm just kind of because at first, we first started talking. It's like her parents were, they're super traditional. They didn't let her go out. She wasn't allowed to do nothing. So I was thinking, like, is it because of me? Is it because they know that I'm not Mexican that they don't want her to be hanging out with me? Like I was, like is that what it is? But once I met her mom first, and it was just like after she met me, then she was like, oh yeah, he's cool, he's a nice guy, and then it was okay. So I'm like, all right, maybe that's all it takes is they gotta know you first. They
mm-hmm.
gotta see how you are. So I mean, because I mean, her one of her cousins dates a black guy. So I mean, I don't think that it's frowned upon, but they just need
Some may not like it.
they need to, you know, they need to bring you in.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be around because Mexicans are like really family oriented people.
Mm-hmm.
So if their family doesn't approve, then you out.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, she brought me around, like a lot of her cousins and her aunts and stuff like that, and they all like me. So it's like okay, I've been ingratiated into the family, so it's like they cool. And then she's been around my family and they like her, so it's like. But I mean, my parents have always been kind of like that. They don't care like what. As long as you like it, then it's
Yeah.
fine. It's like we're not gonna be in your business like that. It's like if you like her, then cool. But we ain't gonna tell you who you can and can't date. Like they've always been that way. Was your mom like that with you? Did she kind of get on you about that? Like, oh, you gotta date a black chick.
Because like, hey, well, we're Jehovah's Witness, so it's like,
She got to be a witness, but it
yeah,
don't
that's
matter the
more so what
race.
it is.
No,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's like, think about it, if you racist in the Jehovah's Witness, which there are some, I've seen it, and it's funny. It's very funny. Yeah, that's the biggest contradiction I've ever seen. Now, here's my question: how do Filipinos feel with their kids like dating black people?
They don't. It's not a big deal.
All right, because
Yeah.
like I've gotten told from some of my Filipino friends like
I
when it
mean,
comes
in
to
when
the Asian race, like you guys are kind of treated like black people in a sense.
yeah,
Okay.
like we're like the outsider of the what is it, the Southeast Asian community.
Oh,
We're
okay.
we're kind of like over here and everyone else is
Yeah.
over here. So it's like
Okay.
we do things a little different. Like if you look at the Filipino culture versus like any other culture, it's over there, it's a little different.
Mm.
Like our culture is very similar to like honestly to Mexicans. Like
Mm.
the Mexican culture and the way they do things and the way Filipinos do things is really similar.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So it's like it's you know, but I mean we're all under Spanish rules, so I
So
mean it's all been kind of
yeah,
the same things passed down
that makes sense. So can I come to the cookout then?
to the cook.
Like what's up? Like
I mean, what do you mean? Like most of my cousins and stuff like that, they're with black guys.
I'm just
My Asian on my mom's side, most of them are with black guys.
I'm just
So
asking, bro. Can I come to
yeah,
the cookout?
uh,
You keep trying to stop me from talking to your cousins,
hey, I ain't stopping shit. Like, hey,
or what is it? You're trying to prevent me from possibly getting beat up?
oh yeah, my cousins fight. They own that. They about that life.
I'll trust you. I know about the Philippines. They get down when it's time
They
to.
about that life.
Hey,
Hey,
look.
yeah, they that. I mean, if when you're in the Philippines, it's a little different because with this whole passport bro culture and all of these Americans going over there and pulling women and nowadays the Filipino men don't like it because it's like hey, they're taking, they're coming over here and taking our women. But then again, it's like it's not a big deal because our taste in women are different. like Americans versus traditional Filipino men.
Mm.
The taste is different. Like over there, they try to go for the desirables. Like over there, colorism,
Yep.
as we were talking
Oh,
about.
so like kind
They
of paler
yeah, they like
skin.
the pale, fair skin,
Yep.
slim. The Asian women that look like your stereotypical Asian woman,
Mm-hmm.
skinny, pale, fair skin, long, dark hair. You know that type of shit. That's what they go for. Now, when Americans go over there, they like the ones that are kind of tan, a little thicker. You know what I'm saying? They go for that. Traditional Filipino men don't go for that. So
Yep.
it's like it's not you're no one's really stepping on anybody's toes. It's just
Yeah.
like they just kind of go over there and they do what they do.
No, I got you. Yeah. It was, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I kind of look at being raised, obviously in a minority household. It kind of sucks at times that we have to get taught differently just because the world's so messed up. Like
Oh,
certain things.
one
What's
other
up?
thing that we were taught different, because I'm sure you were taught like that as well, is like how to deal with police.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's like white people don't have to have that talk because the
Uh,
police,
it's
it's just
crazy
different.
too trying to explain to them about that, and like they're just never going to understand until they actually like see it.
Well, see, for me, my dad was a cop for
Yeah.
like I think for probably what, like 6 or 7 years, maybe he was like a cop, and he told me, hey, you get pulled over. Well, I wasn't driving when he was a cop. I was still young.
Yeah.
Like by the time I got my driver's license, he was already transitioned. He was in probation and parole at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But still, he dropped gems on
Oh
me
yeah.
like, hey, you
Because
get pulled over, like just do this, don't. And I mean, honestly, being pulled over in Virginia, I never really had problems with cops.
oh
Like they
yeah.
didn't try no funny shit with me. Now, when I went to Ohio, I got pulled over, and that was my first time ever having like a serious like racist cop. And it was just like, what the fuck? Like, seriously? Like, are we, but I mean, I was grown. I was probably what, like 21, 22 maybe. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, seriously?
Yeah.
And like, cause it was me, my homeboy Trevor, and I had we were going to a party or some get together. So we're riding around this neighborhood looking for this place, and we rode through that shit like 3 different times. Now driving slow looks a little suspicious.
Oh yeah.
I'm aware of that.
At least you're honest
So
about it.
it's just like, okay, because I mean, we in Centerville. Centerville is like predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, you got these cars, tuner cars rolling around here, and they're driving slow, and they just keep coming through. So a cop sees us, he pulls us over. Now my homeboy had no hood on his car. His plates are expired.
Oh yeah.
Like all of this shit's wrong. Now my plate, I had the plate that came on the car because I had just got it like not that long ago.
Mm.
I think I'd had the car for like maybe a few days. I think I'd had it about what, 4 days or so. So the plate on the car was still valid. So I just left it on there till I went to go get shit done.
Mm-hmm.
We get pulled over. He let my homeboy, who was white, was gonna let him walk, and he tried to tow my fucking car. I'm like, wait, hold up, like seriously? He was like, oh well, this isn't right. There's like 4 things not right over here, but you're not gonna tow his car, but you're gonna tow mine. And the fact that I had a white girl with me, he didn't like that either. So I had that was strike 2 and 3 right there. Strike 1 was the car, and then he who's this like I said, if you ain't black, you white. So it's like we got he got a white chick in the car with him. He wanted him, and his shit ain't right. Nah.
Like, nah, fam, something not adding
Oh
up.
man, I went the fuck off. And then he eventually didn't tow my car, but he tried. He was going to.
It's
I was like, yo, like she had to go and like talk to him because I was going the fuck off. Like if he would have had me go talk, I probably would have punched that nigga in the face. Like I was because this was like in my hothead days. So I was like, fuck 10. I was on like 50. I was just like, nah, fuck that. Like, yeah, and then he ended up letting
man.
us go.
It's like I have never like me driving in Arizona. I've never been pulled over. Now my homie driving one time. Luckily, it was a lady cop. And she was chill.
Mm.
Typically, they're some of the worst though, from what I've heard.
No, every time I've been pulled over by a lady cop, it's always been chill. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
lady cops usually just be chilling. Like
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
they don't try to like overdo it.
You know,
You
the
know.
funniest experience I ever had with a woman cop was this was back when I had that right hand drive
Mm-hmm.
300Z. So we're over off like Avondale Boulevard in McDowell, getting ready to turn.
Mm-hmm.
She's right beside me. Obviously, you know, she does the whole she's like, so how are you sitting on that side? I'm like, oh, right. It's legal. If you need me to pull over and show you the paperwork, I can. It's not a problem. She's like, you're allowed to have that car here? I'm like, yeah, you're allowed to do this. She's like, oh, okay. Drives off.
Yeah.
But it was just the shock and all. Like, wait, hang on. Like,
I remember that like early on. I remember when I was in high school, we started seeing the right hand drive cars on the
yeah.
street, and we're just like, oh shit, like we thought it was the coolest shit ever
Oh,
back
yeah.
then. And it's like the cops, boy, they would yank your ass up with the
Yeah.
quickness.
But it's like, I can honestly say I have never had a problem with an officer out here. Like, you know, most of the time, like I've had to actually talk to a couple of them, and predominantly most of them have been white. They've always showed me the utmost respect because I showed them the utmost respect.
That yeah, I was about to say that. It's like usually most cops they go based off you. If they
Exactly.
pull you over and you roll the window down being an asshole, then you gonna get asshole back.
Exactly.
That's like if you're like
Which is kind
chill.
of expected at
Yeah,
that
it's
point.
yeah, that's just human nature. It's just
Yeah.
like if you roll the window down and you chill and you talk to them like you got sense, then it's like they usually don't fuck
Oh
with you.
yeah.
You know, they're just
Now
like, all right.
there was one time that I passed the cop while I was driving, and then he just up and decided I'm gonna follow him and run his plates.
Mm.
I know that nigga was mad because he could not find anything.
Oh yeah, that's key. If you driving and a cop is driving behind you, but he ain't trying to get around or go around and he's just following you for a while, he's running your shit.
Exactly.
Even if you at a stoplight and a cop is behind you,
He's
he's
probably
running your
running.
shit.
Yep.
It's like if you drive a car that don't look like regular traffic, they're automatically gonna run your shit, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what.
Oh,
You
crazy.
if you
No, man, I was driving the Fusion, dog. I'm like,
if you drive, but it's like you he might have seen you through the window.
oh yeah, of course he
But it's
did.
like if you driving like a sports car or any type of
Oh yeah.
modified car, they're gonna run your shit
Yep.
automatically. It don't even matter. It's like
Amen.
that's gonna be automatic plate run.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
make sure your shit straight because if you got anything on you, they gonna get your ass.
Amen. So, sneakers. What do you think is the next big thing?
As far as what?
What do you think is gonna shake up sneaker culture? Or do you think we're already seeing it a little bit?
Honestly, I think phones are gonna make a comeback.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I know Nike just said they're gonna relaunch a whole bunch of stuff for Kobe Day, reviving the brand, the Kobe brand.
Yeah,
So I'll believe when I see it, of course. But
Why wouldn't they?
Nah, I mean more so they were talking like they're gonna drop like retros.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they? They have the last few Kobe days.
Hey, I believe when I see
Like
it.
the what was it, the first Kobe day? They dropped those they dropped what those purple, black, and yellow fives. The that one pack with the two fives, the one that was multicolored and the undefeated
Oh
fives, they
yeah.
dropped those.
Hey, I believe
Um
it when I see
the
it.
jerseys. They dropped like a whole bunch of shit over that week.
I'm just having a hard time believing some of these drops. I mean,
It's a cash grab.
of course,
They
but
know that they know people are gonna buy it.
they just cut that Born Raised dunk due to the passing of the founder, which R.I.P. to him. But I'll believe when I see it.
Oh, they're not releasing them now?
They just like cut it for now. Like I'm not sure if they're gonna release it in the future. It
Mm,
was mainly just due to the founder passing recently.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Honestly, though, one thing I will say, I think resale market will kind of go back up a little bit more, but
I don't think so.
I like not even like drastically. Like yeah, I'd say it's right here, maybe about like that much more at best.
Why you think that?
No, just because it's just I kind of look at it like the stock market. Like, yeah, it has that point where
Now
it
you
dips
think
for
the
a
whole
while.
market or just certain shit?
Certain shoes,
Like
certain
like
shoes,
which ones?
like your typical hype beast shoes.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, like your Travises and all that. They're gonna go back up.
They ain't never dropped that
They dipped.
much.
They dipped a little bit, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's right here. It's
I
only
think
gonna go to
on
like right
certain
there.
colorways maybe, but
Yeah,
like the OGs, like the first two
because
that they dropped, those
I
ain't
don't think I
dropped.
told you I had a chance to get those Tiffany and Co. Air Force Ones for $400.
I think that was a flop.
Oh, I think it was too.
I
But
think
it's
that
just the fact that
those didn't go
it's
crazy like.
reselling for like 900. That pair was. I almost took it, but then I'm like, I don't want to go through the trouble of just trying to sell them because they were 13, so I would have had to sell them regardless.
You could have took it to Charles.
I could
You
have.
could have took it anywhere and
I
traded. You
just
could have got a real good trade haul for
I
those.
just did not feel like it at the time. I'm like, I don't feel
I
like
would have
going
bought
through
them
this.
shits and I would have took them motherfucker right to probably Mini Worlds.
Yeah,
And because Mini Worlds got like a decent selection, I'd have took it straight to Mini Worlds and they give good credit on your shit.
yeah,
I'd have been like, hey, I want to trade these for whatever. And I
yeah,
would have those and those because you could have got at least 2 or 3 pairs on trade for them.
yeah.
Easy.
I mean, hey, it is what it is.
I'm like, I wasn't a huge fan. I'm just like, it's for what it is. Why is the retail so much?
Exactly.
The retail was like 400, wasn't it? It was like I think it was
Something like
something like
that.
that. It was like
Yeah.
400 or 500, something like
I
that.
don't know, man, because it's
I
like
was like, hell no. Nah.
it's like I've said it sometimes. Like I think sneaker culture is dying to some degree, but like I've said, it's dying for the masses. Like for us that actually just enjoy shoes for them being shoes. Like
Shit,
yeah, it's not gonna
it's coming
die.
back alive for us. Shit.
Yeah, like it's like
Like
yeah,
hell, this shit sitting now. I ain't gotta worry about fighting nobody over no shit. Man, shit. That's what we want to happen.
exactly. But it's like I think it's gonna take like
I mean, granted, there's always in our culture, like for us,
there's always
there's always
periods
been
where
stuff where it's worth money,
yeah,
but we never looked at that aspect of it.
exactly.
You know,
So
we
do
would
you
get
like the
something,
shoe or not?
right? We get something that's worth money and we will wear that shit immediately just
Oh
because it's,
yeah.
oh, dude, I got these shits. We didn't care about that
Oh yeah,
because we weren't ever going to sell them.
I had some always cracking up. So one of my boys, Doc, which hey, shout out to you, Doc. He does this thing, bricks of the day, where he
Oh,
just
God.
takes pictures. Nah, but they be clean shoes, though. Like they be clean. It's more so a joke. And so I did one. I'm wearing the casino dunks at the gym. I'm like, so these qualify as bricks. He gave me the approval. I'm like, all right.
Damn.
I know somebody was like, "What? How was this break?" Like, bro, chill. It's a joke.
I'm going to do that then. I'm I'm gonna post up a picture. What did I wear recently? Oh, my blue lobsters. Be like bricks of the day.
Oh, you gonna have people losing it, bruh.
What the fuck are you talking about? Do you know what those are? Like, I'm aware. I'm aware.
Yeah. But honestly though, I think really
It's like they qualify as bricks because I've been wearing them.
if you start to see kind of like how it was in like kind of earlier 2010s to like roughly 2015, where you had tons of Jordan ones sitting in stores, I'd like to see it go back to that.
That was the boom.
Yeah.
Like 2011, I say like
Mm-hmm.
2011, 2012 until like 2015.
Yeah.
That was like a boom era where it
Yeah.
was like everything was selling out.
But also, I say that because it actually made going to go to the mall fun. Like, oh, they got these. Like, oh, cool.
Right, you
Like,
get to see it in hand. You know,
yeah,
you didn't have to buy it online.
yeah. So I do hope that makes it come back.
I want them to start putting foams back in stores. You used to be able to go to Foot Locker and buy foams, and you can't do that anymore. I'm just like, what the hell? Like
Yeah, if y'all don't know,
foams?
Eddie does like his
I,
phones.
certainly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that to me is crazy. Like, I don't know if they took them out of the stores because they don't sell. I mean, I don't know, but it's like I used to go to the House of Hoops over at
Mm-hmm.
Arrowhead, and they always would have the foams in there.
Mm-hmm.
And now they don't even get like the last few of them. They didn't even get them. Like nobody got them.
Oh yeah.
I think the only stores around here that got them was like Undefeated and Manor. I think they were the only ones that got like that white pair. I think they were the only two people that got them like in
Yeah.
store. And I'm just like, that's crazy to me. They don't
I
even put
will
foams
say
in
though, the
stores no
one
more.
the one thing that hasn't tripped me out, the Vomero, I'm not getting it, but of course I've never tried a pair
The
on.
little running sneaker that everybody's
Yeah.
going nuts about
I'm
right
like, I
now. Oh
don't get
God,
it.
I
Like,
don't.
it basically just looks like the Nike version of a New Balance.
Yeah, it just looks like a dad shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, dad shoes are
Now,
in.
if you like them, I'm not hating or nothing. I'm just saying I don't get it.
I
Like,
don't get it either.
yeah, but of course, it's like the same thing when people like, when older heads are like, now why is New Balance just so big now?
Oh man, shout to my man Justin. We was just talking about this yesterday or day before yesterday,
What's up?
talking about New Balance. He was just like, we were talking about, because he's my age, and we were talking about OG like sneakers, like back in when we were kids,
Mm-hmm.
Airwalks, all of the skate shoes and shit. We're talking about that. And he was like, dude, honestly, he was like, I think Airwalks could make a comeback.
Oh, they
He,
could.
he was just like, if New Balance can get as big as they got in the last couple of years, and I don't know why Airwalk can't do it either. He's like, granted, they sell them in like Payless and Walmart and shit now, but he was like, I think they could make a comeback. And I told him, I'm like, if they brought back their key models from the 90s, the ones that we used to like to wear, if they were to bring those back, they would sell easy. They would sell with no problem. I mean, if people are going like buying and wearing Vans as much as they are, and then now with the
Exactly.
Adidas Samba making a comeback and people want that now, I'm like, if they brought back like the OG Airwalks, I think people would buy them.
Yeah, I
I
can
think they
agree.
would.
Yeah, it just all depends. Like we talked about in the last episode, the Samba, I'm really not getting.
The Samba was big in its day, man. That shoe was iconic to us, like my generation. When I was like a kid, dude, Samba was it. If you had to wear Sambas back in the day, like everybody had Sambas. And then it died off. Like I think it was popping for probably a couple of years, and then it just faded off. But that was the thing, man. Sambas in like the early to mid 90s, man. People were going crazy over those things. And they were cheap.
Mm-hmm.
They were like $40. Now a pair of Sambas is like $100. I'm just like, what the hell?
Crazy, right?
$100? I'm like, oh hell no.
Who would have thought?
I mean, even that pair that I pulled out in last episode, like those things weren't $100. I bought those in 2010. Those motherfuckers was like what, like 50, like 50, $60.
I will say, Adidas's case. like they're really gonna have to bank on Jerry Lorenzo now,
Ah,
and
ah,
that's gonna be a 50-50 right there.
nigga,
Because
no.
like we've both seen the whole pictures and all
That's
that.
gonna be a motherfucking 30-70, my nigga.
You think so?
Man, come on, bro.
Well,
Like
actually,
those
more
things are
so
so trash.
the clothes I think are gonna be better than the sneakers, obviously.
I would agree with that.
Yeah,
The sneakers, I mean, honestly,
I don't
it's like
necessarily hate them, but I don't necessarily like them
it's
either.
just a rehash version of the Nike. It looks
Exactly.
almost exactly the same. And I'm just like, he didn't change nothing. And the hype around the fear of God is not what it was
Oh
when the
yeah.
Nike shoe came out. So I'm not expecting people go nuts over it like they went over the Nikes. But I mean, he's still gonna sell them.
Oh, of course.
There's gonna be hype around it, obviously, just
Exactly.
because of, it's been
It's fear
so
of God.
long,
Yeah.
and it's still fear of God. And I mean, but I think Adidas has done a good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, to us, it's like the fuck y'all doing, but to them, is a good marketing strategy. It's like they sit here and, oh, it's coming, it's coming. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. Dude, it's been how many years?
Like at least 2.
It's been like 2 or 3 easy. They were supposed to have been came out.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, okay, now the pictures are starting to come out and the hype is starting to build even more than it
Oh,
already was. And it's like,
I just
oh,
had I
they
just had
good to
another
build the hype.
thought. A key thing I want to see, stop giving all these musicians collabs. Not all of them are good. Like, for one, the Bad Bunny people are gonna be mad. The Bunny forum is trash. I don't care what anybody says. That shit was trash, bro. Adidas did him dirty by giving him that model. Like, hey, you could have given him an NMD and I would have been fine with it. But
Well,
the forum?
the forums are popping right now.
Bro, they're trash.
But the forums are popping right now. Like they're selling.
The Travis Scott Mac Attack, trash.
Yeah, that's shit. Those are horrible.
Like trash.
But the forums I can see because the forums are selling. So it's like, okay, Bad Bunny's a really popular artist. Our forums are selling right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give him a forum. That makes sense.
Oh yeah.
I could see that. But the Mac Attack though, like,
come on, bro.
That's trash.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But people will probably still buy it. But then again, they might not. Because his trainers sat. People didn't buy those.
Oh yeah.
That. They thought people would go nuts over the trainers.
Nope.
Not so much.
Yep.
The Air Max 1s, people did buy those. Those did sell.
Yeah, but at the same time.
Not as much as the Jordans, though. Still don't. Anytime he drop a Jordan, it's like people are going to go after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, did you see the new one?
Oh, the golf one?
No, he got a Jordan 3 coming out. That's the next one is going to be the 3s. I mean, it looks just like the Tinker Jordans with the swoosh.
Yeah.
But the swoosh is backwards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, man, I'm not big on it.
Yeah. Because you're a VA guy. I'm just making sure. There's no bias here, right?
What's that?
Pusha T, Jim Jones.
Like, who's better?
Like, how you feel? So, did you hear both their songs?
Not both of them. No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I gotta hear them. I heard the Jim Jones one, so I'm just kind of like, oh, okay.
So, problem is, I'm like, hey, how did this beef even start?
Oh, I have no idea.
On top of that, I'm like, to be fair, like we all know catalog wise, Pusha T's better. Catalog wise. You disagree?
I can't say it's a shutout, man.
Oh, I'm not saying it's a shutout either. Yeah, let me.
If you look at the whole shit.
Oh yeah, Jim Jones is.
We talking about Jim Jones and his shit with the Diplomats.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, like I'm not saying it's a shutout. Don't get
That
that.
that
Like
that diplomatic
yeah, like
immunity,
it's definitely like it's a ladder. Like they both like
I mean, if we're just going off of sheer number, I mean, Jim Jones has way more music.
oh yeah.
So I mean, you look at,
But more doesn't always mean quality.
I mean, you look at it, he had good albums.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you
Like
didn't.
Pusha T albums. How many? Which one? What? I don't think he's had a bad one.
Oh yeah, I really don't either.
So I
And
mean,
crazy enough too, I'm not even that big of a Pusha T fan. I'll keep it a buck with you. Now, here's what I will say. I like Jim Jones's version of there too. Like I like his better, but that's just because I like his rap style a little bit more.
I
Like
mean,
it's a little more gritty.
I like Jim. I mean, I ain't gonna say. I mean, like you said, I'm a VA guy, but I don't I grew up in that era, man. Like
Yeah.
the diplomats was them niggas. We
Oh
used to
yeah.
fuck with the
Now,
diplomats
now,
heavy.
now, Tim probably gonna lose it when he hears this. Talking about, no, Pusha T was way better than Jim. Like,
I gotta hear the Pusha T one. I haven't heard
yeah.
that one
So
yet.
it's like I just more so like Jim Jones more just because it, it it was a lot more of a grittier sound.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, that's just his rap style.
Like Jim, like oh, man, like
Yeah.
you, if you put up, what would you say is Pusha T's best album?
That's even tough to say, to be honest with you, because like I told you,
Like
like
just off your personal, like which one did you like the best? Like what was your take?
I will say I kind of liked him more when he was when it was a Clips era. I liked him more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. I didn't even
like
think
his
about that.
solo career. I'm kind of like,
It's like if you you throw the one the Clips albums in there. That's a hard catalog to,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but Jim Jones, man,
oh
his
yeah,
first few solo albums, On My Way to Church, uh Harlem, was it Diary of a Summer? And then uh Hustlers POME. Like
mm-hmm.
those three albums were phenomenal to me. And then you throw in I mean even some of his ones after, like was it was it Capo and a couple of other ones, like he had good joints. And then he had the of course Diplomatic Immunity. That's a classic album to me, you know. So it's like he's got some, he's got some ones out there. And I mean you throw the Clips, you know, was it Hell Hath No Fury, and then
Yeah.
what was the one that came at the second one? Ah, damn it, what's the name of that one? The one with Mr. Me Too on it.
Mm.
That album was phenomenal. Like that, the Clips albums were great albums, man. Like
Yeah.
they, yeah. And then you know you got the Re-Up Gang joint that they had. That one was
Yeah.
good.
At the end of the day, though, I look at their beef, and I was told by somebody apparently it ain't even really a beef. It's just it is what it is type
I
deal.
think honestly, it's like I actually like when they beef rap.
Oh yeah,
Because I mean, it brings back like the competition. You know, it's just
exactly.
like, oh,
And
okay,
you know,
these
like
niggas going at each
I
other.
I just recently met up with the homies I'm on the hip hop pod with, and I always say I can't put like one over the other when it comes to Jay Z and Nas because them two brought out the best in each other.
Sure,
Yeah, whether you want to disagree or agree, I truly believe that's a fact. Them two's beef truly brought out the best in each other.
I don't think if that beef didn't happen, I don't think we get Ether. I don't think we get that.
Oh, of course not.
You know, as like, and that's probably top three to me,
Oh, one of the greatest diss
greatest
tracks of
diss
all
tracks ever.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I just look at this beef like it doesn't really matter to me, but I'm like, hey, at least we got some good rapping out of it.
sure.
But at the same time, I was funny. I saw this TikTok. This cat was like, "Why does Pusha T always rap like you telling a campfire ghost story?" And I was cracking up because I didn't realize it. Then I heard it. I'm like, "Wow, he does too." Kind of. That's what's
That's
funny.
his style, man.
Yeah. So it is what it is. Now, top five producers. And keep in mind,
Ooh,
I didn't even make a list. I'm just going off the top of my head.
man, top 5 producers.
I'll go first. This is in order too. Primo at number 1.
Okay,
Primo,
he's definitely in my top 5.
Alchemist,
Yes, top 5. Absolutely.
Just Blaze,
Yeah, I would say him.
Kenny Beats. Kenny
Kenny
Beats at
Beats.
number 4.
Okay.
You know about Kenny
Yeah.
Beats, right? Okay, I'm just checking. Number 5, Dr. Dre.
Damn, you got Dre at 5?
Yeah.
And I would have to. I can't say shit. I wouldn't even have mine in no order, but definitely Primo,
Yeah.
definitely Alchemist,
Okay.
definitely Dre. Um, I mean, if we going off like, I mean, you gotta throw what's them cats now? What Hit Boy?
I actually.
Hit
Oh,
man, you got Hit Boy. Hit Boy got some fire, man.
here's my problem with Hit Boy. He's not particularly good at one thing. He's just good at everything somewhat. That's my problem. He doesn't specialize
I
in
won't say he's
anything.
top 5, but he's definitely good though.
Like if I had to put him like in an all-time category, he could crack my top 10. He'd just be at number 10.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because like I don't dislike him or anything. It's just like when you really look at certain like
I'm surprised you ain't put your boy up there,
ew,
Kanye.
Kanye, like
Kanye, come on,
I'd
man.
I'd say he's number
Kanye.
6. Number 6.
I would have to say Kanye would be tied up at my number 5 spot,
I can justify that too.
and I would have for my last 2. I would probably put Just Blaze and Track Masters.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, because heck, there's so many too. Like Q-Tip is in that
yes,
top
phenomenal.
10.
Jay Dilla.
Yeah, Jay Dilla.
I mean, it's so many. Like,
Ah man, because heck, we were talking about this with Tim when we met up, and Hit Boy, like take these King's Disease albums that he's been doing with Nas. The only problem I have with it was on that Magic EP.
mhm.
Nas says me and Hit Boy are like the new Gangstar. I'm like, whoa, hold up. Did you just compare him to Primo? Like, calm down. First
No, I
off,
don't think he compared him to Primo.
calm
I think
down.
what he was saying was it's like you got the producer and the rapper, like you had Guru and Primo, and then it's like you got
Yes.
Hit Boy and Nas now,
But it's like, bro, like Hit Boy's beats are like,
Hit Boy is not Primo.
yeah,
I
like
don't even think Nas would say Hit Boy
I
is
feel
Primo.
like a lot of Hit Boy's beats are kind of just starting to sound the same to me.
I mean, you hear it enough. I mean, he has a signature sound, which most producers do.
Oh yeah, but it's like how he did that slipping into darkness.
Mm-hmm.
How he's trying to call out people. I'm like,
I mean, shit, you could throw Jermaine Dupri up in there.
oh yeah,
Man. Jermaine,
but hearing slipping into darkness, I'm like, bro, what nerve do you have to call out anybody when, like, yeah, you're versatile, but it's like you don't really specialize in anything.
true.
Like, that's kind of just what was funny to me about it. Like, I will give him his props. Like, him doing it, I gotta give props. Now, him rapping, I'm like, you're not that great of a rapper, bro, but it's like you do decent enough.
A lot of producers aren't.
Exactly, and I never expect him to be. I'd say he's probably one of the better ones.
That's why I would say that Kanye is up there because he can do both.
Exactly.
So it's like that's a big thing. I mean, hell, Eminem produced pretty good stuff in his
J.
day.
Cole.
J.
Is
Cole
actually pretty slept on as a producer.
Oh, for sure. J. Cole.
And that's why, like, when you talk about the whole him versus Kendrick, that's where I say is what ties him with Kendrick, because Kendrick is not a producer, like quality wise compared to Cole.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's a number of things, but I mean, your list is solid. Like, I respect it, honestly.
Well, I was like, say I mean,
yeah, for me, Dre just goes at my number 5 because I say this all the time. I'm not a big West Coast guy. which is kind of funny with me growing up on the
Yeah, I
West
was about to
Coast.
say that's
Like
weird,
literally,
bro.
all my
That's weird.
siblings, they think it's so funny too, like that I'm not that big into West Coast, but it's like I don't know, it just East Coast has always like been my favorite rap style, and then
Sure.
I'd probably say it's a tie at number two between the South and West Coast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they got some good Midwest rappers. I mean, you had a few out the Midwest.
yeah,
Had your
Royce,
Royce,
yeah,
Twister,
yeah,
um,
Black Milk,
Common,
yep, Common.
man, Bone Thugs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was some heat coming out the Midwest for a
Mm-hmm.
minute.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a number of them.
Nelly and Nelly and the
Yeah.
Lunatics. I mean, they had their
Go,
run. I
go
mean, you
down, down,
you can't
baby.
you can't
Pretty little
deny it. They
rainbow.
had their run. Nelly had a good ass
Oh
run.
yeah, he did. He did. He definitely
He
did.
had a good
If
ass
you
run.
deny it, you just don't listen to music,
I
bro.
mean, hell, they had a bunch of cats out of St. Louis that had good
Mm-hmm.
Chingy.
Yep.
Uh, I mean, well, he was kind of a one-hit wonder, but Jaquan.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought you said Chiggy was a
No, no,
one hit
no, no,
wonder,
no,
and then
no,
I
no,
heard
no.
Jay Claude. I'm like,
No.
oh, okay.
Jaquan was definitely a one-hit
Oh
wonder.
yeah.
When he came out with that, everybody in this bitch getting tipsy. It was like, oh shit! Like
Yeah.
everybody was on that. Everybody
Oh
loved that
yeah.
song.
I was about to say, hey, look, I will say, Chingy probably got to be one of the smartest rappers
I won't
you've
even
ever
say
seen.
one hit because he had that other joint off
Well,
the
I'm not
same
even
album
saying
that was
I'm not
good
even
too.
saying one hit. He's probably got to be one of the smarter ones. Like he realized, all right, my time's coming. Let me jump into something else.
Chingy realized when the game started to change and his style wasn't what people wanted to hear, and that's when he kind of
Yep.
faded out.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I give him his credit. He found something else to
He
do.
didn't know how to adjust, and
Yeah.
he knew that.
But that's like Chameleonaire. You got to be smart.
Chameleonaire could his music would still slap today,
Exactly. But I think.
but he just Chameleonaire was all about making money,
Mm-hmm.
and him being into he was all like, if you listen to people talk about Chameleonaire, he was always tech savvy.
Oh yeah.
Even before he got heavy into it, he was tech savvy.
Mm-hmm.
So when there was ways to
Gonna make
make money
money.
off of it, he was like, oh hell yeah, I'm doing this.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, rapping at the time, like if you really think about it, rappers might sit up here and floss and talk about all of this shit, but they don't really make money like that.
Oh yeah.
Not all of them. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them they're not millionaires off rap. Like
It's hard to do it.
it's like, come on, man.
Like people don't realize, like, bro, most rappers don't make their money just off their music. Like they do
Yeah,
other stuff.
they invest in, they do other things. I mean, they have to.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the
Like
early ones,
realistically, I think I got told this because my brother is a producer, and he said like we're the ones that really make the money.
sure,
Yeah,
100%.
because people have to come to us for beats if they
Facts.
can't make them themselves.
The producers, like, they make money.
Yeah.
The rappers, they some of them get good deals. Well, then, and like, because your brother is probably like my age.
Older.
He's older. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, he know for sure then. But in and like that generation, rappers would sign deals for like
Mhm.
$1 million. They ain't doing that now.
Well, actually, some of them are actually getting way more than that.
Than $1 million, yeah,
Yeah.
some, yeah,
But those
not
are
very
like your
many.
crip of the crop. Like you got to be like a top 10 rapper today to get that.
I mean, 50 when he signed with Shady Aftermath, he signed for like $1 million,
Mhm.
and this was what 20 years ago.
Oh, wait, speaking of
That's crazy.
how
20
we got
years ago.
into that
Shit.
debate with Tim regarding could Game beat him in a battle?
Hell no.
I thought about this the other
No.
day. I'm like, if you can say Game can beat 50 in a battle, I might actually take your point serious for a second.
Yeah, I think he
If
could
you
beat 50.
You think he could?
Game
I don't think he could.
in a battle?
don't think he could.
Yeah, I think he could.
You really think so?
In a battle, yes. When it comes to songwriting and producing, no.
But that kind of goes.
When has 50 ever been a battle rapper? When he made his disses on
Well,
Ja Rule, they were songs. They
well, I'm
weren't
thinking more so.
battles.
I'm thinking more so a versus battle. That's what I'm
Oh,
more
a
so
versus,
thinking.
oh,
But
versus
my
battle.
bad.
Okay,
I should have
okay,
explained
okay.
that.
I thought you were talking about like
Like
hear your
rap
mic,
battle.
hear your mic, we gonna battle. No,
Yeah.
Game would eat 50 in a battle, in a rap battle. In a versus battle, no, 50 would kill Game.
Oh yeah. No, we're talking rap
Yeah.
battle. Oh yeah. No, Game has no shot against him. Like no
Eminem,
shot.
hell no. Eminem would cook
Like a
Game.
versus battle. Like I said, it all depends on the crowd.
Even in a versus
No,
battle,
it all depends on the crowd.
Eminem could probably play his whole Marshall Mathers LP and it would trump anything Game.
But it all matters on the crowd, though.
Everybody liked Marshall Mathers LP.
That's a fair point.
That was his best album
But
in
think
most
about
people's
it.
eyes.
If
That
you
was his best
play it
album.
now, are people really gonna like it as much as they did back then?
Yes, that album, yes.
Not everybody.
That one they would. I think if you play Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, the Eminem Show, and probably Curtain Call, but the first three for sure, those would still hit now.
But you got to think though, people's opinions change over time, right? Right?
They do. But hear me out.
Okay.
Those three albums, the first three, those albums, if you ask anybody that listens that's like music like we like it, they will tell you
those
the
are
first three albums today still, but everything else after that is hit or
also
miss.
Substance, what he was talking about, that's going to play a factor. Like, do I really want to hear this now?
Sure.
Not everybody's going to want to.
Sure.
That's
because
what I'm saying.
He had more, like, okay, excluding the Kim songs, he actually was talking about some shit in some of them songs.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Now, if you talk about newer, I would say Recovery would probably be like
the only one people like.
The one, yeah, that'd be the only one people would be like, yeah. And even his newer one, Kamikaze and Music to Be Murdered By, people like those. But Revival, horrible.
Oh yeah,
everyone's terrible. Relapse was eh. You know, he
don't like Crack a Bottle.
That album.
But even that was like a radio hit. So
yeah,
like,
but that album was not that great. You know, that was when he was kind of in that, you know, because after Proof got killed, he slipped. Because I think Curtain Call was his last one before Proof died, and then it was just kind of like after that happened, he just kind of disappeared, and he put, you know, he put Relapse out, and it was like, and then everyone's like, oh, Eminem's done.
I will say, I do want to see more producer versus battles.
Yeah,
that's one thing I do want to see, because I'm like,
I would love to see another Bad Meets Evil album come out.
Yeah, I think it's about time.
I liked the last one they put out. That one was good.
Oh yeah,
I'd like to see another one of them.
Now,
for sure.
Royce versus M in a rap battle, I wouldn't mind seeing that too.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
but I mean, they're basically like the same person.
Exactly.
That would be crazy to see them go at it like battle wise. That would be dope. It would be dope.
Oh yeah. Now versus battle, who you taking?
And a versus?
Yeah,
M. He had way more commercial hits than Royce. Way more.
Well, yeah, but Royce never really was ever commercial.
No.
So it's like,
but if we're
can't fault him for that.
Man, if we're talking just like they play anything?
No, you put their 10 best.
Ooh.
That's where it starts getting like, okay, Royce actually might have a shot. I'm not saying he'd win, but he has a better case. Like,
it'd be close.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, to me, Royce's best stuff
is really his later stuff right now.
I
think it is. But again, it's a generational
if we're talking
difference.
Top 10 songs, I don't know, bro. That Malcolm X was a killer.
I'm not knocking that, but think about it. You got the Prime albums.
Well, oh no, I'm not saying that it ain't. Like his Prime albums, you look at like Book of Ryan, fantastic. His was an Allegory, it was great.
Yeah.
But his earlier ones like Rock City. I mean, you had a lot of joints on Rock City.
Yeah.
Um, then you had the joint, was it, I forget the name of the album. I have it in there, and the one with Malcolm X,
Yeah.
and he had another one that Kanye produced actually called Heartbeat that was fire. I mean, it was a whole bunch
Oh
of
yeah.
shit then on there back in that era that was dope, but no one was listening to Royce back then. It's
Exactly.
like if you didn't know who Royce was, then you won't listen to Royce in that time. All you knew was that he had beef with Eminem, but you didn't know Royce.
Yeah.
Like if you weren't on Royce before he put out Rock City, then and when Rock City came out, because even Rock City when it came out, I mean, people weren't on it like that because they didn't
Mm-hmm.
really know who he was. But I mean, we knew. I mean, I used to kill Rock City. It was a great album. And I mean, it got great ratings by like hip hop people. I mean, it got like it was like 4 mics, 4.5 mics in the source.
Mm-hmm.
Like it got good reviews from everybody back then, but he just wasn't a big name.
Yeah.
So no one was listening to him. But Royce got fire.
Oh yeah.
Not just his new stuff. Like even back
Oh
then,
yeah.
Royce had fire.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But we're gonna get out of here though. Again, appreciate y'all for listening as always. Episode 30. I think we got 30 more in us. Until next time, I'll take it easy.